Hi guys, Finch here and welcome now to the Quest Golf Academy and the next video in the GolfAlong series. If you've not checked out the first video, you can do it by clicking here, and that's all about pre-round stretching, but also a stretching routine that I want you to do before each of these videos. And now we're going to be moving on to the grip and wrist positionings and making sure that your club face is in the best position that it can be throughout the swing. Now remember guys, for the GolfAlong series, you can download your own program sheet, which is in the description below, and also there's this little box which is charting the progress. Now as far as grip and wrist positioning is concerned, it's very important to get that right before you start hitting a shot, because it directly influences club face, and how your club face is throughout your swing will reference how you move that club. For example, I do get a lot of people down here for lessons who, for example, grip the club in a very strong position. Now strong grip sees the left hand come very much on top of the club, so I'm seeing here 4 knuckles on the top of my left hand as I look down here, so a very extreme strong grip, and then the right hand goes a long way underneath, and what that will cause as the palms want to try and rotate and face each other at the point of impact is a very closed club face. And this is the type of position that you can see at the top of the swing. Even though the wrist positioning is good, the club face to be very strong. Now what that can cause within the downswing is a very inside swing path and big hook and big draw shapes. But I also get people who come in with that strong grip and then try and cup the wrist to compensate and get the club face into a neutral position at the top of the swing. So how you grip the club and how you place your hands on the club will have a massive impact on what is happening throughout the swing. So with all that in mind, what we're going to do in this first video is teach you how to get a neutral grip. Now neutral grips aren't the be all and end all. As I've just shown, you can adapt wrist angles to try and get the club face into a different position at the top of the swing. However, a neutral grip will give you the best opportunity to try and get the club face neutral throughout the swing without having to adapt other parts of the body. Now a neutral grip is super simple. Now I'm not talking about an overlap grip or an interlock grip or a 10-finger grip. I am perfectly comfortable with people who come here for lessons using any of that style. My personal preference is an overlap grip, which is the little finger of the right hand sit in between the index finger and the second finger on the left hand. But like I said, an overlap and interlock a 10-finger grip, it doesn't bother me. What does bother me is how the hands are positioned on the grip as an overall unit. So if you hold the club out in front of you guys, you want the leading edge to be nice and vertical to the ground with the toe pointing directly up at the sky. And as you look down on the grip, if you can place your left hand with the grip running from the base of the little finger to the middle of the index finger, before wrapping that hand over until a point where you can see around 2.5 knuckles on that left hand, and the V created by the thumb and the forefinger pointing up towards the right shoulder. You don't want this thumb gripping down onto the side of the grip like that, so just on top until that V is formed. Now with the right hand, you want that thumb sitting nicely in the lifeline and the V created by the right thumb and the forefinger to be pointing up towards the right chest. Now that will give you the basis of a neutral grip. And when that's the case, when you have that neutral positioning, as you move up throughout the backswing and you hinge your wrists, the club face will get up to the top of the swing in a nice neutral position, with the leading edge matching the back of the left hand and the back of the left arm. And when it's in that position, you can then return it through to impact without having to manipulate things too much. Like I said, as you start to hinge the wrist throughout the swing, you can get more of a bowed position and you can get more of a cupped position. And these two different wrist angles will close or open the face depending on how much you actually make that movement. So now we're going to talk about a drill that you can use to try and get the grip into a relatively neutral position, and then how you can practice the initial takeaway and impact, keeping that club face nice and square. So it's a simple drill to try and get your hands in a nice neutral position. All you want to be doing is lots of those re-grip exercises. So putting it in the hands in that position and then re-gripping, taking your hands off, re-gripping. By all means, put clubs around your house. So when you go into the kitchen to make a brew, pick up a club and get that regrip. The more you do this, the better it will become. And now we've got this nice little drill that you can use at home or at a driving range to try and make sure you're orientating the club face correctly to your target. Super, super simple. All I've got here is a ball. Obviously you can hit as many balls as you want, and I've got an alignment stick which is down my target line. Now what I'm going to be doing is going through the routine of getting my nice neutral grip on the club. I'm going to be settling the club in behind the ball and lining up the club face so it's pointing down my target line, which is identified with the alignment stick. Then what I'm going to do is get myself set up. I've got a 7-iron here, but just a short iron will do. I'm not going to be hitting full shots here. I'm going to get into my posture. I'm going to turn away with the upper body in the shoulders, and as my club reaches parallel to the ground, I'm just going to use this mirror behind me or a video camera. Remember, there is an equipment list that you need to complete the GolfAlong series. I'm just going to make sure the leading edge of that club is along the same line as my spine angle. Then as I start to turn through the ball, I'm going to rotate my body left, get the club face lined up with where my alignment stick is down the target line, and then I'm going to turn through again to this point where the club is parallel to the ground and try and get the feeling that that leading edge again is along the same line as my spine angle. So to complete this drill and hit the shot, just one little practice swing, lining the leading edge spine, impact target, and then through spine, and just those little half swings, just trying to send that ball out there nice and straight down the target line. Now, of course, club face orientation in relation to path will make a difference to ball curvature. And I'm not saying that to hit successful shots, you need this club face pointing straight at your target as you hit. But this just gives a good impression, and it also gives a good feeling of what having a square club face to target actually feels like. Right guys, thank you so much for watching. Next video we're going to be moving on to more of the fundamentals of the setup and the swing. Make sure you practice this, make sure you follow this guide all the way through. If you do, you will see improvements to your game. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on my other social media platforms as well, and we'll see you down here next time.